name is Seth Anderson, and I play football. I play wide receiver and quarterback. I feel like some of the mental struggles going in football are, one, messing up a play. Another one would be just like small little things of not getting the spot you wanted, maybe not getting the amount of playing time you wanted. I feel like all that goes into big mental struggles in football. In the seasons, I feel like football has this one season, and every year I always look forward to it, and I always find joy from just playing, running around just with every single one, all my teammates, my brothers and sisters out there. It's just such a blast. I find so much joy, and I feel so like better about myself when I'm with them. Some of my teammates like that, if I didn't have football with them, I probably would not have been friends with them or really reached out to them or texted them or like hung out with them. I would do anything for them, and I feel like being with them, I feel like just like it creates such a big bond, and I feel like football has really brought that out of me, of like creating a friendship with people that I've met for the first time on the football team that were juniors, and I feel like that really helps me like mentally, just knowing that I have 100 brothers on that team. Some of the highs for me are definitely summer workouts. I feel like all the days where it's like you don't want to wake up, it's early in the morning and you could be sleeping in, and knowing that you could not be running the hill at 7 o'clock in the morning. I feel like all those times and days where it's like, why am I doing this, why am I doing that? I feel like knowing that you have 100 brothers running it with you, knowing that these times are something that you take for granted. I feel like those are some of the biggest highs for me, knowing that like all the little things in the beginning all add up to one bigger goal. I'm very big into my faith, and I feel like I always lean on Christ for helping me through struggles, and I also lean on my parents and my family. I feel like, one, when I am feeling down, I always just like to take a moment and pray and be like, why am I doing it? Like, what's going on? Like, take a step back. And then at the same time, I also like to tell my mom and dad or my brother and sister, like, what's going on in my life right now? Why am I struggling? Like, has this happened to you? I feel like that really helps me, and I feel like I'm very blessed to have a family where they can help me with that, and I also am very blessed that I have a faith that I can take a step back and just look at how it's really affecting my life. For me personally, in the beginning, playing time. I feel like I've always had a goal of being the starter. I've always had a goal of playing this set amount of minutes, but in the beginning, I was fighting for position and I didn't get it, and that really affected my mental health. I was really like, wow, is this really what I want to do in life? Wow, is this really what this is like about? And knowing that like it does sometimes affect your mental health, with knowing that it's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be what you imagined. It's not always going to be the star player or amount of minutes you get in the field, but just that has really affected my mental health. I feel like as a high school athlete, and I feel like all high school athletes, even if you're not an athlete, if you're just someone who's struggling through mental health and just like struggling through school and life right now, I feel like there's so many people out there that are going through the same exact thing you are. You just need to reach out. I feel like for me personally, I feel like I've struggled on like playing time with that. I feel like that has really affected me, and knowing that my family and people that are around me have struggled with the same thing on this team. And I feel like knowing that there are so many people out there that are going through the same exact thing, just need to reach out and just find that person, even if that's your brother, your best friend, or not even your friend, someone that you just met randomly. I feel like that has helped me a lot, just knowing that like there are so many people out there that are going through the same exact thing as everyone, and just knowing that you need to reach out.
My name is Carter Bissell. I run track and field. When you lose a meet, it's pretty hard. I mean, that's pretty much in every single sport when you lose. More specifically in track though, when you don't hit a specific goal or time that you have coming into that meet, you can really beat yourself up. For me specifically, say like if I'm doing the long jump and I do pretty bad, get under my PR and don't make the goal that I set coming into the meet, I just let negative thoughts come into my mind, and that kind of messes up my whole mental thought process, and it just kind of messes up the rest of the meet for me.
Share, like, so what are some of those negative thoughts that you think?
I think some of the negative thoughts that come into my mind are, am I good enough? Will I ever improve? Is this permanent? Like again, will I ever improve? Like, it's kind of heartbreaking when you put in all this work for the sport and you come up short. It's hard to accept that that can happen. So some of the pressures in track, for me specifically, is at the end of the meet, we run the 4x4 relay. And last year, I was the last person. I was the anchor of the 4x4 relay. If we lose the 4x4, we lost the meet. If we won the meet. And I just got really worked up and nervous that if we didn't win, then I'd lose it for the team. And that just put a lot of pressure on me. And luckily, in the end, my team pulled away and gave me the lead, and I was able to come home with it. But going up to that event, I was super nervous and I put a lot of pressure on myself. I pray to God that for strength and comfort, but also I try to simplify my thought process. Think positively too. If you think negatively, then you're less likely to succeed. If you have positive thoughts, then you automatically are more likely to have a better time, and just trust the work that you put into the sport. I think it's a big one.
Mental struggles, I think, would number one be confidence. I feel like that's a huge part, not only for me personally, but I feel like other players. Playing sports comes with playing time and fighting for that playing time. I also think proving to myself that I'm so-called good, so like scoring a certain amount of points during a game. If I don't reach that goal, then it's just a bad game. And then I also think just pressure, just in general, adds a lot of mental struggles. Basketball's created lots of friendships for me. I've been playing since I was a little kid. So growing up with the family aspect of that, I've created between high school or AAU, I've created lots of friendships and families with that. I definitely think negatively, it's definitely affected me with I don't know, just kind of on myself. I feel like it's not me versus the game, it's me versus myself. And I know last year, a couple of games, I'd walk out crying because I felt oh, I didn't have a good game. And that definitely adds mental problems or struggles. Pressure I put on myself would be scoring a certain amount of points, or either proving to my mom, because she has a huge image in my life with basketball, proving to her or other people that I have to be good or score a certain amount of points, or just things like that.
Yeah. So do you feel pressure from other people?
I do. I mean, as much as basketball can be kind of a mental struggle, it also can be an escape. Currently right now, in my basketball career, I'm kind of narrowing down colleges, looking at and stuff like that. And so recently, because I'm a junior now, that's put a lot of pressure on, picking what school will be the best and hoping you don't pick the wrong one. So that's definitely added lots of stress. It's always nice to talk to other people about it, because some people relate in certain ways with that. Talking to my mom, because she went through the whole basketball career. But it's never good to hold anything back, so talking to other people is a big part of that. Everyone's different in their own way. I know I compare myself to a lot of people and saying, oh, she's better than me, I have to be better than her. So you're your own unique player, and you just don't need to compare yourself to others, and then just work on what you need to work on.
I'm Greta Caprathy and I dive. What a lot of people don't know is that when you're diving, sometimes you have to dive towards the board with your head, and that's really scary, especially because if you hit your head on the metal board, you're gonna hurt yourself. If you smack the water too hard, you're gonna get concussed. So a lot of it is developing the skills to be able to do things safely, but it's not always easy because you may just have a mental block and you can't get off the board, which is a really hard thing to do. And then also not only doing the dive correctly, but smacking on the water, which hurts really bad. It's really hard to see people doing super good, and if you're having a bad day and you smack and then someone's are you okay? It just makes you want to get more frustrated about it. And then if you smack again, it's seriously, come on. So you really have to stay calm while you're diving and focus on yourself. Don't worry about other people. It is a team sport, but you're doing it by yourself. So I think that's something that's really hard to grasp, is that not only are you out on the diving board in your bathing suit by yourself. Like, everyone's watching you, the swimmers aren't swimming. So it's really hard to focus in on just what you're doing. When you're diving, the swimmers stop their events to come and watch. So that means the whole audience is also watching, and you're only going one at a time. So you kind of feel just the silence and everyone's eyes just staring at you while you're standing at the edge of the board. So it's just kind of like, you know that everyone is there. And I think that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Bonding with other girls because they're going through the same thing. They understand exactly what another diver is going through. So being able to talk to them and see like what they're thinking, or just to even get your mind off it, talking to people, or sitting there with your AirPods and trying to not think about it as much as possible, I think that really helps. Or honestly, just like, you need to find a person on the team that you can tell like anything to, you trust them, and kind of keep them by your side, like a buddy.